G'day Tigers fans, I'm Konrad Marshall, a senior writer with Good Weekend magazine and The Age, and a tragic follower of all things Tigerland. Welcome to the latest episode of Konversations with Konrad, a series of chats with old and new faces inside our great club. My guest today is Rhyan Mansell.
Potentially, Mansell kicks the goal. Mansell in a good spot. Castle radically out of it. This would be brilliant. Mansell rolls it all the way. A race between Mansell and Kolajasny. Kolajasny's got the support. Mansell with the tackle wraps him up.
The 24-year-old grew up in Prospect, just outside Launceston, and was a talented junior player often linked to North Melbourne through their Next Generation Academy. Rhyan was also overlooked in successive drafts, however, and had to take the scenic route to Richmond. He joined the Tigers at the start of 2021 as a supplemental selection and has since played 60 games for 37 goals, cementing himself as a tough pressure forward. Rhyan, a proud Pakana man, was honoured to design the guernsey being worn this Friday night in the annual Dreamtime game, and it's my pleasure to have him in the studio today. Welcome, Rhyan.
Thanks for having me, Konrad. Looking forward to it.
Awesome. So I was at the game last weekend against North Melbourne, and I was lucky enough to head down into the rooms as some fans and friends and family are able to do. And, you know, you watch the players warm up. Jacob Hopper's there with a weighted vest doing like calf raises. Timmy Taranto's laying on the floor on a foam roller. And I look across and you're sitting in one of those white plastic chairs against the wall and you got your arms folded. You're leaning back. You look for all the world completely asleep. So I've got to know, because you were like that for the entire 10 minutes we were down in the rooms, were you meditating, visualising? Like, what is that?
Yeah, to start with, there's a little bit of visualisation. I like visualising, myself in contests before games. Sort of just, eases the mind and anxiety before games. But I'd love to say there's a bit more to it, but I was honestly just feeling a little bit tired and there was a bit of time to kill, so I just had a bit of shut eye and I felt good after it.
Awesome. What do you visualise? And is that something you sort of worked on with a visualisation coach or somebody at the club?
So we're going through a phase where we're really like working on our mental mastery, we call it. Ben Rutten, he's huge on it. He's been helping us out as a footy club. About our mental skills, I guess, and being able to be in our best mental state for as long as we can in games. Like for me, I like visualising before games. I like watching a lot of tape of myself. I don't know, it just like makes you feel a bit better. Gives you evidence of the way that you play and your strengths. So that's what I sort of visualise before going out.
Awesome. Now let's go back to the beginning, to Prospect, a suburb in Launceston where you grew up. Can you tell us a little bit about that place and your family and just life down there in Tassie? Prospect. It's about 5 or 10 minutes out from, I guess it's not the city, but Lonnie Town. Mm-hmm. It's a very small place, Launceston. Everyone knows everyone down there. I went to school at St Patrick's College. That was like a 5-minute walk from where I lived, so that was ideal for me and my mates. Sometimes got us into a bit of trouble leaving school a bit early to go home, but it was good living near school. I had a close group of mates that lived close by as well. I've got younger brother, younger sister, mum and dad, grew up with them, that's sort of, I guess in a nutshell, how I grew up in Prospect. And your footy started with North Lonnie, and I understand your dad coached you between the ages of maybe under 12s to under 15s. Yeah. What was he like as a coach? What did he teach you about the game?
Yeah, it's probably like you've sort of said that something that I pride myself on is probably toughness in contest. He sort of instilled that in me at a pretty early age. If you speak to any of my mates and stuff, he's a very good coach, but he's also pretty old school hard on you, and he was very hard on me. Sometimes I thought it was a bit harsh, but looking back on it now, it's put me in good stead to where I am now and how I like to be coached. So I'm forever grateful that he coached me.
What kind of player were you as a junior? Like when you were running around at age 14? Are you still a small pressure forward? Are you a half back? Are you running through the middle?
Yeah, so probably under 12s to 14s, I was a lazy small forward that tried to get the easy ones out the back all the time, and got lucky every now and then. But Dad got sick of me not running, and he chucked me half back at under 15s, and sort of from under 15s until 2 years ago here at Richmond in 2023, I played half back for a lot of years. So it's good to be back up in the forward line. It's exciting, fun, get to crash in and tackle a few blokes and kick a few goals. So I'm glad to be back up forward.
That does sound like fun.
Yeah.
As a 16-year-old, you were part of the sort of inaugural intake for North Melbourne's Next Generation Academy, and I don't think probably a lot of fans actually know what the NGAs do or kind of how it works. So can you walk us through like what your contact with that was, and I don't know what it might have done for you?
Yeah, so I was fortunate enough to be part of that NGA process with North Melbourne. So basically entitled, they sort of invested into me. I went over and trained with North Melbourne. Maybe like once or twice every pre-season for 2 weeks or so. Got to stay with a player, sort of just like, actually be an AFL player without being an AFL player.
Wow.
So gained so much experience from that. Obviously met Jack Zeeble through that, so it's good to have him at the footy club now. Robbie Tarrant, I knew him before he got to Richmond as well through training with North Melbourne. I'm grateful to be part of that experience. It was obviously they obviously get first access to NGA players at each draft, or I could have gone there as a Category B rookie, but ultimately they decided to pass that up, which I'm happy with now that I ended up at Richmond. So, I gained a lot of experience being able to go train with North Melbourne and do pre-season and match sim with them as a 16, 17-year-old. I'm very happy at Richmond.
Was that daunting, going out on the training track with all of those senior players, people that you've just watched on TV when you're 16? Yeah,
the first or second time, I guess, first couple of times I went over there was pretty nerve-wracking. You didn't want to stuff anything up. You were pretty scared to make a mistake. But, as I got over there a bit more and trained with them, it got easier and easier. So it sort of, held me in good stead coming to Richmond. Even when I moved to Adelaide, just new environments, I felt comfortable straight away.
You mentioned that North passed on you as a Category B rookie and went undrafted in 2018 and 2019. I was just wondering, so did that kind of crush you or drive you or a bit of both? Like, what was that process like?
Yeah, it was definitely a mixture of both. It was probably the first time I hadn't really made it, like, I've made all the state teams. It was sort of the first experience for me not getting what I wanted, sort of thing. Yep. It was it did crush me for a few days there, but I got over it pretty quickly and was hungry to sort of prove the people right in my corner. Dad was a massive driver for me to still, I wanted to live out my dream, and I thought, he saw the potential in me, and I definitely felt that. So, I've used that to motivate me to get to where I am today. So, it's looking back on it now, I'm actually grateful that I missed a couple of drafts and sort of humbled me. And obviously went to Adelaide and had to work a 9 to 5 and play SANFL footy over there, which was pretty hectic. And I definitely don't take being an AFL player now for granted, which I may have if I'd have been picked up straight away as an 18-year-old.
You mentioned your dad. Before we get to South Australia, I just wanted to revisit this fact. You played in 3 senior flags as a teenager with North Launceston, and that was the club where your dad won a senior flag back in 1995. What was that like to sort of share that bond with your dad?
Yeah, it was pretty surreal. Obviously, growing up, it's something that I wanted to do, was play in a premiership for North Launceston senior footy team. I think 2017 was the first one that I won as a 17-year-old. It was special. Obviously, Dad's got a strong history with the North Lonnie Footy Club. I always looked up to him growing up. So to be able to do that, and then obviously top it off with a couple more, sort of bit of bragging rights there in the family as well, getting a few more than him. But it's it was a great experience.
And then you ultimately went to South Australia, as you said, as a lot of undrafted players do, go play in the SANFL. And you won another flag that year in 2020 with Woodville West Torrens. That's 4 senior flags in 4 years. I'm just wondering philosophically, like, what does it take to win a flag in your mind? Is it how much of it is talent? How much of it is like a team being cohesive? I mean, do you know when a group has what it takes to win it?
Yeah, I think you've obviously got to have talent, but I think everyone being on the same page and just having that hunger for the same sort of outcome, I guess, or what you want. Obviously, like I said, you've got to have talent. And you do have a rough idea, I guess, pretty early on in a season. Like every pre-season, you've got no idea of what the team's actually going to be like. And then once the season starts and how you sort of gel as a team and the way you play, I guess, you sort of have a rough idea of what the year's going to look like.
You've got that capability that can go all the way.
Yeah.
After missing out on being drafted again at the end of 2020, you began training with Richmond in January 2021, like just after New Year's, I think.
Yep.
And then by the end of February, you were taken as a supplemental selection. Can you just tell us, what was it like training that summer with Richmond and hoping to find a spot? Was that just exciting, or was it a little bit like the experience with North as a 16-year-old? Is it just nerve-wracking, like, do not mess this up, don't fumble this mark, hit that kick?
Yeah, for me, obviously missing out on 3 drafts then, I was sort of in the mindset I was happy to go back to Adelaide and play in the SANFL. I really enjoyed my time there and had some good mates there. So for me, it was just given everything. Like I was nervous, but I wasn't anxious to make mistakes. I was just going to give it my all because I didn't want to look back on it and be like, oh, I wish I had have done this different, that different, had a bit more of a crack there, not make mistakes. I sort of put myself out there to make mistakes to learn from. It was obviously a great experience. I looked up to Jaden Short and Liam Baker as halfbacks before I even talked to Richmond. So to be able to learn off them was invaluable. Grimesy, Nick Vlosten, it was a pretty good group. Day one was 3K time trial, and I had never met anyone at the footy club, and I rocked up to that and ran a pretty average time. So I thought my time might have been over before it even begun. But it was that pre-season was awesome, I'm just forever grateful that Richmond gave me a chance.
Where did you live once you were picked up by the club? Like, did you room with a player, and what I guess did you learn about preparing to be a professional AFL player?
To start with, I was in an apartment in Richmond. The club put me up in there. Obviously, Samson Ryan just got picked up, so he was there as well. And then I moved in with a family friend out in Essendon for a couple months, and then made the move into South Bank into an apartment. But I never lived with a player early days. Funnily enough, I lived with Sam Lonigan's nephew, Jesse Lonigan, when I was in Adelaide, and I think he played 60 or 70 games for Gold Coast, and he was a Tassie boy as well. So I learnt so much from living with him. He sort of gave me, a bit of guidance into what AFL life sort of looks like. And I guess that prepared me well moving interstate again by myself. So,
Amazing.
Where he should be, Mansell front and centre, and the finish is superb. Mansell straight, Tigers lead. This might work out. Mansell out ahead of the play, pursued by Harley. Mansell kicks superb.
Now, you didn't have to wait long for an AFL debut either. It came in round 4 against Port Adelaide away.
Yep.
What do you remember of that?
Yeah, I think I got a bit lucky with there was a few injuries and whatnot, but I remember getting told that I was gonna. Dimmer dragged me into his office on the day off before team selection and just said, "Your GPS numbers aren't good enough. Like we would have loved to have played you this week, but you just need to get your GPS numbers up." And I was a bit like, "Oh shit, like damn," and then like slept on that. and went to the club for main training the next day, and I was like, I'm just going to sprint around, like I want to be running everywhere, which I did. And then obviously got called up to Dimmer's office again, and there was a few cameras, so I sort of knew what was going on, but it was just so surreal to be actually told that I'll be debuting over in Adelaide. Obviously, living in Adelaide the year before meant a little bit more special. When I got told, I was speechless. And then being able to go over and play against Port Adelaide there, I think it was on like a Friday or Saturday night, so it was a pretty hostile environment. Fans carrying on and whatnot. But no, the atmosphere was unbelievable. I think we lost by 2 or 3 points, which was disappointing, but no, it was a great debut game.
Awesome. What are your strengths as a player? Like what do you kind of sharpen at training, knowing like this is what I want to bring to the field?
Yeah, I think I always say my competitiveness, which sort of leads into all my strengths is speed, contest. I've just been really working on that forward craft of getting to the front of layers at contests. So being able to crumb and then just execute in front of goal. I've missed a few goals this year, but it has been a strength of mine being able to hit the scoreboard. So
you've nailed a few really great ones too.
Yeah, I've missed the easy ones and seem to be making the hard ones, which is good but frustrating at the same time. So I'm putting a bit of work into my set shot and in front of goal. So hopefully, can execute a bit more.
Is that what you think of as a weakness? Like I was going to ask, what are the things that you think you need to improve to go to another level?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's a weakness. I'm not too worried about it. But in terms of going to the next level, would be just continuing on endurance running. I feel like my speed stuff and change of direction's all right. It's just continually. It's for me. It's been a battle, I guess, my whole career, but I'm getting a lot better at it. My GPS numbers are showing that, and I guess just being able to get up the ground a bit more and hopefully crack into time in the midfield, being around the ball a bit more because it can be hard to get the ball as a half forward. Being able to impact in multiple areas of the ground, I guess.
Excellent. Now, I always like to ask players what thing they love doing most on the field, and they always want to talk about like getting around their teammates. So you can't answer that. Yeah. You got to pick something on the field that you love doing. Would it be taking a hanger? Is it kicking a goal? Is it laying a big bump? Is it something as simple as just that moment where you run out onto the field and trot down to your position and wait for the siren? Like, what do you really like?
Oh, there's a lot. I reckon the one after when the final siren goes on a win, that feeling, no matter who it's against, what round it is, what type of game, when that final siren goes and you just look for the closest teammate to go and celebrate with, that's definitely by far my favourite moment out in the ground.
All right, you went to a teammate even though I said not to, but
I'll
forgive you. That's all right. Let's talk about the Dreamtime guernsey, this marvellous guernsey here, which you designed with help from your dad, Brett, and your pop, Clyde. There's so many great little origin stories in the design, from the 3 Furno Islands where your family's from, the yellow-tailed black cockatoo, which is your family totem, to the water, fire and smoke representing cultural land management. What's your favourite part of the design?
Oh, I love all of it, but probably the handprints on the back, which most people would have seen. As soon as I got told that I was doing the Guernsey, that was something that I knew I was going to put on the Guernsey straight away, no matter what we do. It just sort of represents the connection, having each other's backs. And then, we've sort of put a little bit of a twist into Tasmanian cultural, experience of not having just ochre hands, it's the spitting. So it's like the outline of the hands, which is a practice we do down in Tasmania, which I learnt off my pop just recently. Ochre
and kangaroo blood.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, and they spit that on the hand. So it's like a hand stencil. I learnt that from Pop just going through this design. So that's probably my favourite part of it.
Excellent. Now, I want to go back to Dreamtime 2022 when there was this amazing dance celebration by the Laguntas out on the field, and all the Indigenous players on the team kind of popped up in this circle at the end, and it was really like goosebump stuff. But fast forward a few years, and we're down to just 2 Indigenous players at the club. What do you think can be done to get more Indigenous players into the AFL? Because we're sort of getting towards an all-time low at the moment.
Yeah, it's a good question. I guess I'll leave it sort of more up to AFL and people higher up that's their job sort of to work on that stuff. But as players, I guess we can control just continually being role models to younger Indigenous players, young Indigenous people that are looking up to us and want to play AFL footy. So I guess just giving back to community whenever we can, doing clinics, doing talks. I guess that's us as players' roles. I'll sort of leave the rest up to higher up people.
No worries. Now let's go forward 1 year from that to Dreamtime 2023, which was a shocker for the club and almost a sort of turning point, really. You missed a set shot for goal in the dying minutes, and the ball ended up streaming down the wing, and Sam Durham kicks the winner. And in the rooms afterwards, players have sort of said later that the mood was pretty fierce. Dimmer's pretty filthy. He ultimately quits the club that week. Was that about as low as things have felt for you in footy or around the team?
Yeah, for me personally, missing that goal kept me up at night for a few weeks, for sure.
Sorry to bring it up.
Nah, it's all right. We've gotten over it now, and we do make jokes about it at the club now, which is good. Personally for me, that was a tough time. I didn't really want to leave the house. I was obviously copping it from media, fans. Yeah, I had to delete the socials for a bit. But it's, I guess, mistakes happen in footy. I obviously didn't mean to do that. So, but then for Dimmer to walk out that week sort of just made me feel a little bit more guilty. But from what I've heard, he was leaving no matter what. But it was tough for me. And then as a club, obviously Dimmer's given so much to the group, the footy club, fans and stuff. So it was a bit of a strange week. But that sort of took the spotlight off me a little bit, I guess. Dimmer quitting, so I'll cop that. But no, I think we've moved on from that, and hopefully we can get back on the winners list this week.
That'd be great. So other sort of slightly tough moments, I imagine, would have been the suspensions. You've been suspended a couple of times, mostly for really split-second things within matches, not malicious stuff. And, you seem to pride yourself on your aggression and don't want to hold back your game.
Yeah.
Have you always sort of played on the edge, and what can you do to sort of stay on the line without crossing it? Yeah, no,
it's something that I've always had to work on. I've always played on the edge, very competitive, hate getting beat. I guess with probably the one suspension where I might have elbowed Jack Inovan in the back of the head, that was probably that was me crossing the line. But I've definitely matured over the years with the way I play. It's a bit more tame, but I still do play on the edge and like to hit bodies. Competing. The two ones that I got 3 weeks for, those split decision, sort of split second moments where you've got to really slow it down in slow-mo, 0.1 second. Like, I don't really know how I'm meant to change what I've actually done. Obviously just got to cop it, and I've dealt with those 3 weeks both times. I just got to move on, and I'm not going to change the way I play just because of that. I'll continue to play on the edge and compete.
Beauty. Got a few curly questions sent in by interested fans.
Yeah.
So TV cameras caught you in a heated scuffle with Jaden Short during pre-season training this year. Are you trying to take the team hothead title away from Nank at this point?
I think that's impossible. Nank's pretty hot-headed, but nah. Obviously, like the way I just said, I train the way I play, so I compete really hard, and Short is the exact same. He's always trying to get the best out of himself and get the best out of me by competing hard with me. So we're really good mates outside the club. It was pretty funny. Yeah.
Second one, Whenever you did primary school projects in class with Ariane Titmus, who did most of the work?
I'd love to say me, but she would have 100%. Yeah.
Final one from the fans. Do you and Nank and Seth Campbell all pick on Sam Banks as the only filthy southern Tasmanian at the club?
Nah, that flies under the radar, but we all give it to Seth from being from Burnie. And yeah, no, we love getting into Seth because he gives us a reason to get into him. So no, he's good value.
All right, and finally, just to wrap up, the dominant part of your Dreamtime Guernsey is the mutton bird, or the moon bird on the sash. Apparently, it used to migrate as far as Alaska before then coming home to nest in Tasmania, and it symbolises your connection to the state. So my last question is, should Richmond fans be worried about that as a metaphor for you returning home to Tassie in 2027 lured by the Devils?
No, I wouldn't be worried. I want to be part of the next Richmond Footy Club premiership, so that's all I'm worried about.
Right answer.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming in, Ryan.
Nah, thanks for having me, Konrad. Loved it.